I'm about to start.
I said, did you get my message? Ooh, oh, did you get my message?
There we go.
Yeah, I got it set where you come in muted, so if somebody have issues, yeah. How y'all doing this morning?
Why you don't see my picture?
Where are you?
Pretty good morning.
I don't know. I can't put, where's the picture?
I don't even see you. I hear you. Oh, Dollar Schools? Okay.
Really?
Oh.
It's gonna be all right.
I tell you, you might. Oh, how we gonna do that? Did you? Do you have a webcam that's built in the laptop?
Yeah.
Look at the bottom of the screen and see if you when you scroll down to the bottom, if you got it on full screen, you should see your mic and your video icon to the bottom left. If there's a red line through it, that means let me just double check.
Okay, I checked the mic off. The mic is on.
Yeah.
But I don't see the
Let me go to is it chat? Participants, let's say. Oh yeah, you got it off.
Okay, how I turn it on?
Like I said, at the bottom. And the only reason it could be off is if it's not configured, or either like I say there you go. Well, no, that's somebody else.
Hold on, I'm trying to.
Do you see the icon at the bottom? For video.
No, I don't see the video.
You see the audio.
Yeah.
Right. Well, for whatever reason, when you launched it.
Wait. No. I'm gonna get out of it and go and come back in.
All right. Make sure you answer the questions when it asks you about. Normally in the video, it should come up, but the audio, I muted it automatically.
Hold on, I'll be back.
All right. Hello, class. How y'all doing?
Doing great. It's good.
Y'all ready to roll this semester? It's gonna be a little different, man. I tell you. Yeah, we have to be a lot of reading and stuff. But we'll try to go over. I'll try to touch some of the key points of the chapter and whatnot. Answer questions, as best I can, outside of class. Let me get to what I need to get to. So I see everybody. Minimize this. All right, so let me share my screen. Well, not my screen itself, but my computer screen. Okay. If I can get what I need to get. Okay, share. Share. I'll share this one. Let's see what's happening. Okay, I got it went here. All right, so let's go to our page. All right, so did everybody register for the signing of the roll?
No.
I need to set that up too. Remember with my class, normally you would go here and you would look at the semester, the year, and the section. All right. Then you would click here on register. Once you get here, then you click on register. You always do register first. Put in your information. All right. The name, major, section, like I said, which was 1 year, semester, which is fall, and the year, which is 2020. All right. Here, this class ID, it said last 4 digits of your BRL number. So that would be your last 4 digits, something you can hopefully always find.
Are you doing that on your screen right now? Because I'm not seeing
you're not
it. I
seeing
don't know
it?
if it's just me.
Yeah, you're not seeing my screen? Oh, no, you
I
sure
just
not.
see a folder.
Yeah.
Okay, I shared the wrong screen. Okay, let me go back.
So we're supposed to go in Canvas?
You go to the SYL site. Let me go back into Canvas and to the board. Let me go to the Zoom.
What course section are we?
We won, section 1. Let me minimize this.
So we signing in like we did last semester?
Correct. Yeah, correct. All right, so this should be the screen. All right, so everybody see my desktop now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, so I'll go back here. All right. So you go back to the main menu. Go back to the website. Right. So you know the 194, and like I say, this would be the information. Everybody can see what I'm doing now.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And we have fall 2020 and section 1. Then you go to register. If you do have issues registering, you got the how-to video. Then there's a playlist in YouTube where you can see the different things that you could go into. All right. I go back. Then you go to register. Under register, you go to register, and you also, once you register, you do the sign and go to student utilities. But to register, here's where you put your name, major. You would put in section 1. This would be fall. This would be 2020. And you would create yourself a password. The only requirement that it needs to be at least 6 characters long with no spaces. That's all. And an email address. I normally don't email it, you unless I need to reach out to you and I can't get you any other kind of way. So that's all this email address is for. Some people have issues because sometimes what they'll do, they'll put space in their name, or they'll put their name and then space. And then so you'll have an issue with a character in your input, all right? So once you do
SYL, what is it? SYL.9 or something?
SYL9.com.
Okay.
Right. All right. So once you register, then it should give you a login ID and a password. It should email you. All right. And then you can go to student utilities and you go to sign today's role, put in your login ID. I have an old one, I think. And your password that you gave, and it should take you in. And all you need to do is click on sign role. All right. Before I had it where you had to click on the date. Now all you have to do is just click on sign role. In this fashion, you don't have to go out to another application and like we were saying, Internet Explorer. You can do it through Chrome. All right. So you don't have to go outside of Chrome anymore and sign a role. And then once you, I can't hear you.
What do we put for the course section?
1.
Yeah.
Yeah, section 1. Right. And I know if I think about, I can't hear you.
I was able to sign a role, but it says I must sign in from Classroom, and it says -10 points.
Right. What I need to do, what I didn't do, I didn't remove the IP restriction. So what I'll do, I'll go in on and remove that restriction from my code after class, because I give you a window. I think I give you. Do I give you a window? If I didn't, I'm gonna have to set it. I'm gonna, being that it's online, I'm gonna give you like a say maybe a 10-hour window, like from maybe 6 o'clock in the morning till 12 o'clock at night, on Tuesdays to sign the roll. All right, rather than make it just specifically this time. Okay. Let's see. All right, so and that's how you sign the roll. And I always can go back and look and see if anybody is actually registered. All right. Excuse me. So this will be for 2020. So these are the people who have actually registered, okay? If you don't see your name, you may need to go through it again. And I
You can take my name off.
Excuse me?
You can take my name off.
Why? What's up?
I don't want to take this class.
Oh, all right. All right. Yeah, we're gonna be.
Mine say 1971.
You're what?
My thing says, welcome, I've registered for 1971. You successfully registered for syl9.com, CSCI, 1971. 73, I mean.
When you went to the syl9.com
Yeah,
website, did you click the 1943 class? Because this is the class we're in right now.
Yeah, it says I'm registered on his screen, but mine says.
Okay, right. I might have a prompt message that I need to change.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. I might need to change that prompt. All right. Okay. All right. So that's signing on the roll, and like I say, I'll get that straight. Where you able to sign in on the roll. So that's the roll. Many of you know, like my syllabus is always on the website here, and I have the syllabus located in Canvas also. Right. So you're always able to get to the syllabus either through the SYL9 site at the top here, the PDF and the doc form, or through Canvas. Now, if we look here, we got all the information basically for the transferring of to the different colleges. Online C++ compiler is the link here. The academic calendar, test accommodations, that's for me. They got the solo learn still, but in this class, we're not gonna really deal with the solo learn because, like I said, hopefully you pretty much passed that advance, so you're ready to roll. Then here is this is the notes that we're gonna go from. The notes is based on the book, all right, from the book, all right. Now we're gonna go through the chapter, and even the information I pulled is a lot of information. But you're gonna have to go through the chapter itself too. You're gonna have to kind of read through the chapter to understand some of the stuff because the test is gonna encompass everything from the chapter. What I said, I remember who took 193 under me. Everybody.
I have.
Is the book? It's the same. Like I say, it's the same book. It's like the 8th edition, but the book itself is the 9th edition. But it's just add some added information toward the latter part of the chapter, where we're going to kind of touch on some of this stuff toward the end. Hopefully, we can get through this to get to the end where we could touch on some of these things. All right. If you look here, I have my assignments, samples, assignments. So I have assignments set up after the chapter. Here I have my PDF, my PowerPoint lectures. But if you look back at the book, this stuff basically comes, from the book. All right. So, but I pulled out stuff that I wanted to lecture on. All right. But there is other stuff that I might not have in here that would be in the book. I still do to give you a chance to take the 2 tests, take the test twice, all right? And then the week before finals, I'll let you retake any test that you would like to take or quizzes. All right, that's still in. I still do that. Let's get back to the syllabus. So if I go to the syllabus, let's see. I'll go to Canvas. Okay, so in Canvas, if I go to Canvas, I have home, I have announcements. In announcements, I have various things in here, you know, course material. This talks about the 194 link, which we just left from, you know, about going to that site and doing whatever you need to do, signing a role, etc. Header files. Remember, if you took me in 193, we created header files for all our programs after the first or two programs. I want you to get that down pat. You're going to be, points will be taken off if you don't do it. I want you to do it. So that should be given points. Or, you know what I'm saying? You shouldn't have anything taken off, you know, by putting in your header file that calls your name, the program name, the date, and know the instructor name. All right. In this class, what I do is I get you to do some paperwork on your programs. And what that paperwork is, I have you to document your program, right? Now you say, well, what that mean, Mr. Sylvester? Documenting the program is a document that you're going to submit, and in that documentation, you're going to have a cover page. Let's see if I have what this say. I'll see where I have it. Do I have it? I have the description somewhere else. But you're gonna have a cover page, all right? Cover page. I'm not too particular about how you design your cover page. I leave that up to you. Your name, my name, the course name, the program name, the date is due, etc. Then the next page would be the statement of the problem. The statement of the problem would be the actual assignment, all right? What some students do, they'll try to copy certain parts of the assignment and give it to me. No, everything in the assignment is the statement of the problem. It's almost like if I hand this over to another person, they can look at the instructions and say, oh, okay, this is what the program is to do, all right? Not picking out parts of it and say, well, I'm gonna just pick, he said that the program should add two numbers. Okay, what about the output? What about the input? What about, you know, a data file? What about whatever? So whatever it is that the assignment was in the assignment, that's your statement of the problem. So, okay, so you try cover page, statement of the problem. Then the source code, okay? Now the source code would be your main file, your source file, all right? The file that has your main.c, your main function in it, okay? So now, then after that, I would want your output file, all right? Now, normally your output file or your output would be like a screenshot. You might screenshot, okay, this is my output, Mrs. Lester, from whatever, because I want to see what your program produced, all right? Then after that, any input file that you may have had, well, you got your header file, which would be that header file with your name, the course, whatever. That should be included. You have your input files. If there is any input file, I would like to see the data and the way it's formatted in that input file. Any output files, because what? You're gonna screenshot your output, but then you're gonna give me your output file so I can see your output file. And then the last thing that students have issues with is my data dictionary. So what is a data dictionary? A data dictionary is a part of the document that will list all of the variables that you created within your program, like all of the just simple variables, arrays, functions, structures, and and other data file names that you created, user created identifiers. You're gonna give the function that is found in, give the variable name, all right, give the data type, and then a little brief explanation of what that variable is used for. Now, grant you may have to reference a variable with of the same name multiple times, because in the main function I may have a variable called X that I use for iterating a loop, but then somewhere in calc num I might have a variable called X that I'm doing the same thing or either something else. So you understand what I'm saying? So you're gonna have to, wherever you're using a variable within every function, you're gonna have to explain why you use, what's the name of that variable, the type of that variable, and what it's used for. Okay? And it's grouped by the function. So when I look at the main function, in this example, I should know that I should see that I have an X variable that's being used and it's used in the loop. I have a Y variable that's being used and it's being a value that's being passed, or this one is being passed too, and this one is being passed. And then I have a string variable that holds the name of the school. All right. And then down here, if I'm looking at this function, see, calc num, it's a function. What does this function do? Calculate and print the loop counter times 3. So like say from 0 times 3, 1 times 3, whatever, in that order. So here A, so I get, and I'm just saying reference A, X is being passed to A, and then this starts the loop, and then Y is being passed to B, and then that's part of that loop. So it's like you can look at the documentation and kind of understand what's going on in the program. And this can take some time. Students start working with the program, and like, well, the documentation is worse or more than takes more time than the program. Because what happens? You write the code, then you start writing your data dictionary. You modify the code, then you got to go back and modify your data dictionary. So you got to make sure you stay in sequence, and when you make changes and whatnot, changing variable names, et cetera, et cetera. All right. But the first program is not. I don't do it. But after that, we start doing the data dictionary. So each program, I'll have a link to upload your. And it's a Word document. Your Word document of your data dictionary, and then another link to upload your program. All right. So if I go back to announcements.
So you're gonna have all this in announcements?
What you mean? I'm gonna have. Look here.
Right. Okay. I got it.
Here you got program 1 assignment. That's gonna be the actual coding assignment. All right. Whether it's and when you upload your assignment, if your assignment entails a header file, a source file, and an input file and an output file, they all should be submitted for under assignment. Any file that's needed to execute your program needs to be submitted under assignment. All right, because if I click on assignment, it's gonna give you instructions for the assignment, or you click here, you're gonna have instructions, header.h and header file. But when you submit your assignment, like I say, this is the edit mode. But when you submit, it's gonna have a submit button, and I'm in the teacher's version. But if you notice, the file types are .cpp, .h, and a .txt. And that's just in case whatever type files you're submitting for your executions, or compilation files, that all need to be submitted at one time here. Now, like I say, that's for the assigned one. But then the prog 1 document, all right, this would be the document that's associated with that first program. So what I'll do, I'll publish both of those together. You'll do the program, and then you have your documentation, and then you're gonna have to upload your documentation. And look here, please have document content listed in the following order. So I want my document, and some students do not, I take off. When I look through it, now, is that the proper order? Not necessarily, but I like to stay in a rhythm when I'm grading assignments. I don't want to look I got, say, 20 some assignments to grade. I'm looking at the cover page. Then I'm looking at output. Then I'm looking at input. Then I'm looking at data dictionary. Then I'm looking at source code. So I like to stay consistent. Cover page, statement of the problem, the source code. So I know, okay, this is out of order. Oh, they missing this, take points off. So I can have some kind of rhythm to grade the assignment and not say take points off or have to look for something, throughout a document. So you got your cover page and it's telling you what I want, how you put it, it doesn't matter, but one page. Now this is one thing students mess up on too. Each one of these listings, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, should start a new page. I don't want it to scroll over, like say, if you got source code, your source code is 4.5 pages long. Your source code should start at the beginning of the page right after the statement of the problem. Like say, if this is page 1, okay, statement of the problem, if statement of the problem is 1 page or half a page, that will be page 2. The source code should start on page 3, 3, 4, 5, 6, and take up 7. I should start page 8 with my screenshot. And now you say, well, why? Because I want every section to start on a new page. I don't want to have to be looking to say, oh, I missed this and that. No, everyone gonna start on a new page. Whatever number page you start on, it doesn't matter. As long as it's on a new page and I can see when I flip the page, I'm finished this section. Oh, I can see this. Oh, it's in the proper place. It's on the new page, whatever. So make sure that, and like I said, the last thing will be the data dictionary. And like I said, if you don't have something like, say, if the program doesn't entail an input file, all right, don't worry about the input file. Yeah, if it doesn't have an input file, output file, you don't worry about the output file, correct? It's just that you don't have to have that in the documentation, all right? But the data dictionary is necessary, all right? Document, now you can disregard this being that we're not in school. You don't have to print them, just submit them back in Canvas and I'll grade them through Canvas, all right? So that's how my programs are set up.
And all of this is worth just 25 points?
Yes, ma'am.
Not more? Why?
If it's worth more or less, how would I say it, Ms. Bradford? I could give you an assignment at worth 100 points. Okay, say me. If you do say 10% of the work, right? That's a 10 out of 100, correct?
Yeah.
I could give it for 25, and you do 10% of the work, and I give you a 2. I mean, 2.5. That's still 10% of the work. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I don't agree with it.
What you don't agree with?
I mean, it's just a lot, and I think.
But listen to what I'm saying. If you're looking at 25 out of 25, that's 100. 100 out of 100, it's still 100.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying.
Okay.
I'm saying I could make it that, but it's still gonna be roughly the same. I'd have to just change the points that I give, but it's like you gonna be looking at it like, oh man, I got 50 points out of 100. 50 points out of 100 is just still like 13 or 12 out of 25. Right?
Example of name and content of header file. I don't get none of that. Can you show us an example of program 1 and how it's supposed to look
Of a header file?
of the program one and how each program is supposed to look, period. Like, I don't get
What
it.
you mean how each program? I don't know why this phone come.
I think that's gonna come, Treasure. It's gonna eventually come.
Yeah. Well, I could kind of show. Do I have Visual Studio on this computer? All right. You said a header file or input file?
Oh, I don't get how the layout is supposed to be.
And when you say layout,
The end results, what it's supposed to look like.
all right. What's that, Miss Richardson?
Huh?
What you say, Miss Richardson? I heard you, Miss Brad.
I get that it's supposed to have a cover page.
Okay.
And then on the next page, it's supposed to be like a paragraph or something of the description of the assignment.
All right. The next page should be this. If I go here and I go to the assignment, right? All right. So what is the assignment, right? Where are the instructions? When I click here, this is what the statement of the problem is. All of this. This is your guide as to what? How to write the program. You understand?
So we
I think she's asking.
Yeah, you include that. Correct.
all of
That
them.
should, right. That should be included.
Okay.
Right. And like I said, you could copy this or whatever and paste it or whatever, however you do it. You know what I'm saying? But all of this need to be inputted into that document.
Okay.
Or even if you do a object and insert it in there, however you do it. But that all need to be part of that documentation. When you write your source code, that should be in that documentation.
That's the actual program put together, right?
Right. Now, the program, remember, you can write the program, correct? But you can copy and paste it into a document. You got me?
Got it.
Like if I'm in a Word document, so if I go to a Word document, I'll go to a Word document. So I'm in a Word document here. Right. And let's see if I have, let me go, I'm gonna go to online GDB. I don't think I got visual on this computer. Yeah, no, is that the app? Okay, yeah. No, this is installed.
I guess she's trying to ask, and I guess I'm trying to as well, what it's gonna look like in Visual Studio.
This is not Visual Studio. This is the documentation.
Oh, so we're not going to Visual Studio for this?
Oh, yes, you are to write your code.
Oh, that's it.
Okay.
Right. Visual is just for the, see, listen, let me ask you something. When you write a program, if you're writing a program in the business sense, you got a team that's writing what? Documentation for the programmers, because what? If you have to update anything in the software months or years later, they have to have documentation to what? To reference.
Right.
You understand? So all I'm trying to do is get you to document things so that what? You can have it, so when you have to go back to it, it's there. Just like when you create software, you should have a user's manual. You understand what I'm saying? When you have software, normally you have a user's manual.
I guess I'm still kind of lost because in software programming, we didn't have to do this. So
but this a different ball game.
Well, I know that. I understand. And I guess that's why I'm trying to understand it more, because I didn't have to do all of that.
Right.
So I guess I'm just gonna have to get some tutoring on it, because I hear what you're saying, but it just don't register right.
But all this is just putting all of it together in Word, in a document form, so that you can hand it off to another person. It just in case another person needs to pick up on that project and do some things to it.
Okay.
They don't have, you don't have to
go in Visual to program it, right?
Right. Oh yeah, you definitely have to program it because the program ties into what you're going to turn in. Your output results, your source code you turn in, the
Right.
instructions that you following. You understand? All that dictates how you write what you write in the program. Right.
Sylvester, perhaps I could summarize for you.
Yes.
So the initial format that Mr. Sylvester wants us to have set up, if we can all get on that same page and just try to do our best for hitting that format, it's going to make Mr. Sylvester's job so much easier when it comes to clearing our work, grading our work, identifying what's wrong, and getting it back to us. The faster we know what's wrong, the faster we can say, oh man, I had that wrong. Let me go back and work on my stuff.
Right.
The extra documentation that he's having us doing, there's a word for it. It's called continuity. And it's basically for if something happens to you, somebody to your left or your right can pick up the slack and continue the work. The mission won't fail if you're not here. And it's not
slow down, right?
Yeah, it's not saying that you're not important. It's just saying sometimes the mission needs to continue.
And I get it, and I want to do it that way, but like I said, it's not processing right now because this is new. It's really, really new, and I'm gonna be honest with you. So I guess once I do the trial and error, if I mess up to correct it, then I'll know. But by hearing it, and not seeing it, I guess it's just not coming right now. That's all.
Okay.
I'm gonna spend extra time to help make sure you understand what's going on.
Okay.
I will. I'm gonna help you after class and everything.
What I need to, I understand each section and what I'm supposed to do in each section. I just don't get the layout and what is it exactly that I'm supposed to be, or how many pages I'm supposed to be.
No, there's no number of pages. Yeah, remember what I said. All I want is, like here, this is a program pretty much that was written in just now. I copied out of online GDB, right?
Okay.
Right? And so this would be like the source code,
Okay.
right? How many pages is your source code? Could be 2, could be 5, could be 8. As long as it's all together, starting at the beginning of a page, going down. After that, the next section. Whatever I ask for the output. You understand? So, say this is the program. So I've written this. I mean, I put this in. Now I don't have a header file or nothing. But so here's my next page. If I go back to online GDB and I run this, if I can click on run. All right, if I click on run, all right, I run this. Whatever. Let me see. This thing is in the way.
Do you have the correct?
Yeah, let me move this out the way.
C++ library loaded, like with
yeah,
the online GDB.
I think I did. Let me.
Name spaces.
Okay, I put space in. I'm trying to get this out of the way. Oh, it's here.
I should have studied this over the summer.
All right, yeah, I have C++ namespace in there. Namespace. All right, so when I run it, it should give me that output. See how this. All right, so this is my output, really, right? Mm-hmm. So now I really can't, not copy this, but like I said, you're gonna have to, how would I say it? You're gonna have to know some of the tricks and trades of not program, it's great that. Just manipulate the computer, right? Because like, I know, like I say, I can do the snip, I can use a snip tool, right? I open this, and now I'll tell it how I want to snip it. And what I'll do, I'll grab this and copy this.
And
now,
screenshot, right?
You can do screenshots. Everybody got different ways of doing things, right? But hopefully to accomplish the same goal, right? So now this would be the new page, and then I would paste this here. So now, right, this is the program, right? The source code. This is a screenshot of what? The output.
Right.
Then if I had a data file, I'd have to create another page and then do my data file. If I had an input file, an output file, I'd have to do a output file, type that in, and then the last thing would be the data dictionary.
Okay.
Right? Now in this one, what variables I'm creating in this one? There's none, right? There's no variable. All I'm doing is just outputting something. So there's really no variable. But if I do int, a char, a float, if I created another function or whatever, a structure, then it would be, I would have variables that I have to define in my data dictionary. Correct?
Okay, I get it now.
All right, so this is just the supporting document, all right? Supporting documentation for your program. And all the programs will have that, all right?
Got it.
All right, let's see. No, I don't want to say
So the layout is gonna be basically
the same order. Follow that order that I have, which is if I go back to modules. If I go back to modules and I go here, you're gonna follow this same order, all right? Follow this order here. And like I said, if you don't have a data dictionary, not data input file, you don't have that section. If you don't have output file, you don't have that section, right?
Okay.
All right. So, but that'll be 25 points, Miss Bradford, right? But all of my assignments, like I say, once you understand how the system works, you can kind of follow it. But people that don't do the assignments, they'll start like maybe at assignment 5 and they confused. Well, Ms. Beth, I ain't knew nothing about any documentation. I didn't know how to do it because what? You never even tried to do 1, 2, 3, or 4 to get in the hang of what? Knowing what's needed, how to do it, or whatever. All right? So this is, like I say, all my programs, documentation. So just be prepared, for the documentation. All right?
Bonus.
That's dependent. That's a lot of assignments that I have, and I'll post them as needed or whatnot. May have bonuses, may not. It just depends. Some of y'all gonna be trying to be catching up on some of your work. Then here, this is the sample links for these 2 assignments. In the notes, I have these 2 programs. These 2 programs are programs that are already written. All right. I guess I'll go here. They're in here and they're already written. Now, what these programs, both of these programs do, they allow you, one of them, to read data from a file and write it out. Read it from a file and write it to the screen. The second one is reading data from a file, all right, and then writing it to another file. Some of this is what you're gonna be doing throughout the class, and that's why I gave you these programs. If I click here, if you notice, this is just a program, and if you look here, if you took the 193 class under me, you got the F-Stream library. Then in here, you define in your object, and then within this program here, you read in hours from a data file. This is the sample data file. So see here, this is an input file. So, this is the output file. So your input file, you don't see it, but your input file would be what? 20, 12. It wouldn't be employee 120, employee 212. Your input file would just be what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 numbers. Right? That's what your input file would be. So when you read in a hour sub count from data file, you just reading in 20, which is the 20 hours. Then you outputting whatever. Then you're reading in 12. Then you're outputting whatever. So this program just kind of get you in tune with reading from a data file and putting data into an array and then writing the data from that array. And reading all of them and then writing that data out from that array element. All right. And then the second one, it asks you to, I think, write it to an output file rather than the screen. Now, all of a sudden, what? You take this same file. Now you have to create a what? A output object, a file object for output, which would be what? OF stream. And then wherever you're doing the C out for this, you would do what? The output stream right here, it would be, if I had, go here, if I had OF stream out data, semicolon, then I would have to say out data dot open, and then in double quotes, the name of the file that I want to output it to. Then when I output it to the file, I'll do out data, and then stream this, out data, stream this. So rather than you seeing it on this screen here, you would have to go and look on your computer wherever you told it the destination to put it and look at that file. Okay, so like I say, you're learning programming, but you're also gonna have to understand files and folders and a whole lot of other stuff, you know, in order to complete this class. Because it's not just, okay, I'm in this compiler, I'll do this program, I'm finished. You know, okay, I'm writing a program, I'm reading from a data file. Where is that data file located? What is that data file name? You understand what I'm saying? When I'm writing out the file, okay, I gotta create a file name. You gotta understand how the operating system work in naming files. Then what? Oh, where it's located. I gotta know where it's located, because you could be doing it right and can't find the file because you don't know the location of that file. Okay, so it's a lot of computer science entailed in it too. You got to get a little computer savvy, you know, with
that snipping tool you got.
No, that come with Windows. You could go to here, type snip, and it's a snipping tool. All right, and you're gonna open it. You know, you might have a little trouble with it, but it'll help. You know, to capture something. But you always can use the screenshot where you can use Shift if you got a older keyboard. Shift print screen captures your whole desktop also. Yeah. All right. Okay. Any other questions? And that's on that assignment. Then don't worry about the link. This let's see. It's the header file. The header file needed to be added in all programs. What you need in it? You need the first name, last name, course name, and program name. All right. Basically, that's all I want in the header file. But I want you to get used to writing a header file, using the header file. Now, what I want you to do is when you do your header file, or you need to know when you do your header file, you cannot load a user-defined header file with the less than, greater than symbol. You have to use the what? The double quote, right, class? Everybody understand that? Let's see, if I open up a file, I'll say info.h. All right, so I have this header file. I don't have anything in it. But if I wanted to load it here, I can't load it by doing pound include info.h. Everybody understand? When I see that in the program, I know it's an error, right? I know that's an error. No, you didn't run it, or you know you ran it, got errors, and you're just trying to submit it. When you have a user-defined header file, it should be in what? Double quotes. Everybody understand that? All right, it should be in the double quote. All right, and then what it'll do, it'll pull in that header file, and then I can execute any one of the functions that I have in it, whatever function I have in that header file. All right. Okay. All right. Go back to announcements. All right. I also have Now this is some sample code I added from my other class, which is a part of the program, the first program that I kind of showed you. All right. Reading characters into a two-dimensional array. This was a sample that we went over in my previous classes. You can look at this source code, you can copy it and put it in the compiler, try to understand what's going on with it. This is some source code. It should help you. What happens when you're dealing with two-dimensional arrays, and I know we didn't get to the notes yet. Normally, two-dimensional arrays are manipulated by using nested loops, all right? And if you kind of look at this, where it is here, you'll have for int x equals 0, x less than 5, all right? But then for int z equals 0, z less than 5. So now you have a two-dimensional array in here to where, look what's happening. Well, this is the output, but you got your input too, but this is the output. Then you got what? You can't output score sub x, because what? When x is 0, this is 0. When x is 1, that's 1. So you wanna print out the entire array. If you print out the entire array, you're doing score sub 0, 1, 0, 2, well 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3, 0, 4. Then x becomes 1. 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4. X becomes 2. So it's we're gonna go over it, but this is just some code that you can look at that may help you in understanding what's happening. All right. What else? Don't worry about these dates. But here we go. Software. If you don't already have it, Office 365 is free for download to all students. But you have to have your BRCC account, email account, right? But when you click on this link, it should take, well, not here. When you click on this link, it should take you into Microsoft. You put in your school email address. Once you put in your school email address, like I said, if I put in mine, then it's gonna ask me whether I'm a teacher or a student. And then from here, I can download the Word, well, it's gonna be Office 365, which give me the Word, Excel, Access, PowerPoint, etc. So you'll be able to do my Word assignment. You'll be able to do my whatever. All right. So then look, up here you got install Office. So you can install it, and then it might take a few minutes, and then you'll have the applications. All right. So like I say, that link is out there, and make sure you, and then you can use it for your other classes. So that's that link there. And I'll delete those other links so you won't see those. All right. Here, there's something dealing with structures. Oh, that's something different too. But I kind of got them in there so you can reference it. And like I say, this is the course. Zoom, everybody know you could get to the courses, lectures through Zoom, but I also emailed you, I think, a copy of the link also, so that some people may be using their phone or whatever or whatnot. Syllabus, you can still get to the syllabus this way, and clicking on the syllabus, it'll bring up the syllabus. And go back to the modules. Go back to the modules. Like I say, what we're gonna have, this is just a bonus, when I say bonus point, it asks you if you, or say, I have read chapter 7, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All right. Then we'll have normally a quiz. Don't worry about it being published. We're gonna go over. We're gonna have a quiz on a chapter. Then we're gonna have an assignment, and then we'll take a test on that chapter. All right. And then
you don't see any of that you're showing us.
Right. That's and I don't want you to see it. Oh, okay. Because all it's gonna do is gonna cause all kind of confusion. Mr. Vester, you got all this stuff out here published. What do we do? Right? You only do what's published. Everybody got that? All right. Okay. All right. But if I publish all this, what you gonna tell me? Well, that's a lot of work. I can't do all this work. I can't whatever. No, we're gonna publish it as it goes. All right. So that's basically the class. All right. The syllabus. Our syllabus class is general. In that, what I said. I'm gonna go back, and I can kind of go through it. Our syllabus, basic syllabus. All right, this course 194, prerequisite 193. Prerequisite is 193. It tells us 25 max. Using advanced C++ constructs and writing advanced C++ programs, identifying advanced structures, all right, constructs, etc. All right. We're gonna be have tests. We're gonna have exams. We're gonna have programs. Correctly execute using data provided within the assignment. So this is how the class will progress. What are we gonna do? We're gonna have tests. We're gonna have assignments, etc. All right. Starting the program, okay, how data is entered in the program, how results and outputs, all that you're gonna know. This is my information. Basically, we're not in our office. This is a little new here. It says, although many issues may be resolved by communicating through email, there may be a need when a Zoom session is needed. There may be a time when Zoom session is needed. Listed below are the links and passwords for Zoom sessions, all right? It may be a good idea, though, to confirm the Zoom meeting first. But what happens is, these are my office hours, all right? But what I did was I created Zoom links, and I opened up the Zoom links, like, say, Monday, yesterday, 9 o'clock to 1 o'clock. I open up the Zoom link, and I leave it open. If anybody comes on the Zoom link, or say if you email me, say, Mr. Vesta, can I whatever, the Zoom, whatever, and I'll say, okay, yeah, cool, I'm here. And then you can, all you have to do is just click on this link. And what I'll do, I'll open it up at 9 o'clock, and then you click here. And if I'm by my computer, it give me a notification. Sometimes I'll walk away. Normally, it give me a notification that somebody is coming in, and then we can talk about whatever it is. Like I say, you can email me too, same thing. On Tuesdays, this is the link. It's a different link. On Wednesdays, this is the link. But if you notice, well, these are the times. Normally, I'll try, like say, we have class from 10 to 11:15. It might be a little time lapse in between because I have to exit out the class and get to the Zoom link. So, but, for the most part, these are the links that you can do the Zoom link. But you can email me, no problem. This is the course. This is our lecture from 11 to 11:15. And it's an online class. You know that it's online. syonline.com. And here where I tell you, you sign the roll every Tuesday from 10 to 12:58. I'm gonna try to get that straight, so next time you log in, you'll be straight. All this material needed.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
I try to sign the roll, but it's to say like I got minus 10 points off for now.
Right. That's why I say I need to fix that so that I need to remove the IP restrictions. Because when we was in school, I had it where you can only do it from the IP address in the the lab or whatever at school. So when you tried to do it outside of that, you got that message. But I need to remove that restriction now because people sign in from the phone, from home, from wherever, and there's many different IPs.
Mrs.
Right. Yes, yeah.
Look, okay, I needed to get some items, which I found my book, but I thought I had to get another book. I can't.
But you bought the same book twice?
Huh?
You bought the same book twice?
Yeah, but I couldn't get to the bookstore. So how do you contact them? I know it says here to register on a link or something, because I have to get another book. How do you do that?
This is how on campus it's kind of strange.
Yeah.
It's like you have to like ask permission to go on campus, and then they give you a set time to go, and then you go. Because I don't think they're just allowing people in the buildings and whatever and whatever. Even with us, you know, we got to go to our office. We got to call, or we got to get our dean or chairperson to call, tell them the time we want to go, and then once they okay it, then we can go. So I think that's the way it is. Now, are they on campus? I don't know. You might need to find a number or email address to them to contact them first, you know, before trying to set up something. Because you might set up something at a time that they're not there, or you know what I'm saying, or a day that they're not there.
If you go to the bookstore online, they got this thing to tell you everything. They only doing curbside pickup for books.
You see, so you see what I'm saying? So stuff like, and then on certain times, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And it's a different link if you go on buying books with financial aid. It's a whole different link.
You see, so it's a lot of different things. Different people is in charge of different things. So you talk to one, they might tell you one thing, then talk to the other one, you know, and it's like, you know,
and that's another thing. I can't find what I get in my financial aid to make the purchase. And I'm like, you know what? When are we coming back on campus? Next year?
Oh, I don't know, man. It's like, how would I say it?
Ooh, I just
and
don't
we getting up. It's just like it's almost like a person with an illness. If the doctor tell me, Mr. Sylvester, you need to stop smoking, not until you stop smoking, will this illness go away? As long as I'm smoking, what's gonna happen? It's gonna still be there. So if I smoke for another 2 years, provided that I live, I'm gonna continue having it. So I think we need to come to the realization that nobody gonna tell us to not do this or to do this. We need to say, okay, look, for the betterment of people as a whole, my neighborhood, my state, my country, we need to try to control this thing and shut ourselves down and get it controlled. Because like I say, it just, until that happens, I don't think, like I say, we know about viruses on a computer. If you have your computer online with no antivirus protection, undoubtedly you're gonna what? Your computer will get infected, you know, and just going online and say, well, I don't care, I'm gonna go online anyway if I get it, whatever. Yeah, until what? Till your system crashes, and then all of a sudden what? Oh, whoa, what happened? Why, whatever. You know, so it's basically the same thing. So we need to be responsible. And we need to be responsible, young people, kids, young adults, and adults. You know, we all, you know, we got to be responsible. And until that happens, I don't see nothing changing. So, you know, like I say, it's tough, but that's life. You know, ain't nothing we can do.
One last question. Okay, since all of this pandemic is going on,
you still got to do your work.
Why the professors, meaning you, don't cut half of these assignments in half, but we don't have to do a part of it because of the pandemic?
Because, how would I say it?
Just say you will cut it in half.
Oh, no. Because, how would I say it? You still need to learn this. Because even after the pandemic, and you say, well, I took this class, and then you get out and say, oh, well, we just learned half. No. You know, pandemic gone, but it's like you still don't have what you fully need. If you understand what I'm saying. Now, if you get sick, you know I'm not an instructor that, oh, well, you turn my assignment in, oh, you're sick, you're sick. No. You get sick, hey, I'll try to work with you, you know, whatever. But at the same time, we need to go over this information and we need to try to get as much of it as we can so that once we get out the class, you have what you need, at least enough to move on or to carry on. So we got to kind of stay. And like I said, I understand what you're saying, but I just don't understand instructors trying to be sticklers. Like, oh well, no late work. Oh well, you get sick, I still want my assignment. Oh well, hey, I ain't worried about no doctor's excuse. Do whatever. Now that's kind of going overboard, you know. But at the same time, you know, we're gonna go through the work. We're gonna do the work. Hopefully, you can try to stay on pace, and we can move forward. But we got to do the work.
Yeah, I understand, and I don't like the online. It just don't register to me. That's why I've never taken online classes before.
Right.
But like I said, I'm gonna give it the best effort, and you know, I just have to go from there.
Yeah, but online got its pros and cons for everybody. Well, face-to-face got pros and cons for everybody. I like face-to-face because when we do face-to-face, I can have more class sessions. I can, you know, talk to the students, you know, face-to-face, whatever. But I like online too, where, hey, boom, I can sit here, go through the lesson, do whatever I have. So you got your pros and cons, but like I say, you just got to do what you got to do till things get better. Yeah, till it get better. All right. Now, to get back to the lesson, we're gonna use a Respondus lockdown browser. All right. So make sure you got your webcams. Now, the lockdown browser, this link, you cannot go try to download lockdown browser just from the internet. It has to be from this link because it's tied in with BRCC. The Visual Studio, the 2017. If you notice, I think when you did the roll, there's a link to download Visual 2017. Solo Learn, that's just for you if you want to interact, do a like brush up or whatever and whatnot, so that you can kind of keep your skills kind of, you know, tight. These are the different links for the school. What happens is if the school link ever drops, and that happened last semester when we got hacked. School was hacked, but if you got to my website and you clicked on these links, you were still able to get to Canvas, still able to get to Lola, you know, because these are the direct links to those sites. Whereas if you notice, this is not BRCC's domain. This is a instruct.com domain. If you look at LCTCS, well, now this was one, the Lola one might have been affected, but that's with the actual hub of all of the colleges. But you were still able to get to Canvas if you knew how to get to my website. The disability statement, anybody, you know, with any disabilities, make sure you register or whatnot. Classroom policies, you know, we online now, so, you know, still, you know, we got to be respectful of others, you know, whatnot. If you have, you know, have to ask a question, make sure you minimize the noise and whatnot, you know. But I don't have any issues with you in the classroom. Most students I've taught before, we get along, whatever. So I don't have any issues, and I will plan to. Grading scale, this is our grading scale, same pretty much as before. And notice, like I say, those assignments, 35% of your grade. So make sure you work on and do your assignments. Your tests, 30%, final 20%, and the quiz is 10%. Then you got 5% participation, which normally everybody gets, and the bonus from what those bonuses that you do. All right. This is the general policies, what you need to do, promptly log on to Zoom. Like I said, hopefully I don't be late for class or whatnot. But we could have technical difficulties. You could have technical difficulties with your internet, whatever. I don't have issues with that. Like I say, just Sylvester, I miss whatever. What can I do? You know, stuff like that. These are the withdrawal dates. Make sure you keep notice of these dates because, like I say, I don't want you to go past these dates. Not for it can be my class or any other class, so that you won't run into issue. Well, hey, I didn't know why, whatever. All right, cheating. Now, class, I want you to do your own assignments. All right, I don't want to be grading assignments that are, you know, similar, the same, or whatnot. All right, now these programs, they do take time. These programs are not just, how would I say, 10, 25 lines of code. These programs going to be some lines of code. So when you start copying, and not knowing what's going on, you're going to run into issues. Now, anybody who have taken this particular class from me, they'll tell you, when you do the first program and then you go into the next one, it's like, wow, it's building off the previous one. So if either I copied off the previous one of somebody, I'm still stuck because I can't move ahead because I don't even know what was going on. So it's like, you need to write your code, you need to understand your code and follow along so that you can progress. Because one program, not the very first ones, but once we get into the sorting and searching and reading from a data file, all those programs build on each other, all right? And like I said, you got other information about, going to class and doing whatever, doing your work and whatnot. Safety concerns, just be safe, whatnot. We know we got the virus going on. We're not on campus or whatever. But if you do go on campus, just make sure that you follow some of the rules that they have with the state and whatnot. Wear your mask. Make sure you register or contact somebody before just going on campus. If you do get sick with the virus, like I say, you need to tell somebody. You need to let the teacher or somebody from the administration know so that they're aware of it, and then you do follow the proper precautions of whether it's doctor care or self-quarantine, for X number of days until you get well. Even though we're not together, we still need to follow those things so that we can not cause more harm to the society. All right. Library resources. We also have the Academic Learning Center. They have a number. Normally they're there for tutoring, et cetera, et cetera. So, I don't know if there's tutoring for 194, but that's the email. You can contact them. They may be able to help. And then which is the Learning Center. You can email them. BRCC cares. Most times, anything that goes on with the campus or college or campus related, if it bad, whatever, you can go through BRCC cares and report it and do whatever. You can even report with the coronavirus. Say, I've got it, whatever. Go through it, do whatever. If a teacher, you feel you're being treated unfairly with a teacher, you can go to here and file your grievance or whatever. All right. So just make sure you know that you have this as a way to express when you're not when you feel that you're not being treated right or things going on that you don't think it should be acceptable. All right. Make sure your plan of study is chosen properly so that when we do advise, we advise you correctly, and also when we do assessments is done properly. And this is the outline of the different chapters of what we're going to be covering. All right? All right. Any questions? Questions?
Sir, my questions for me.
All right. So y'all ready to get started with the chapter?
Well, I do have one question.
Yes, sir.
It's actually about a different class. I'm also signed up for your CSCI 2153.
Yeah, that Linux, yeah.
Yeah, I hadn't seen it pop up on Canvas yet. I was just.
It's a 12-week course. So in 2 to 3 more weeks ago, like September the 8th, I think, on Wednesday. Okay. Right. Yeah, because I was looking at it too. I'm like, man, what's going on there? I kept on, and it's a 12-week class.
Okay, all right. Got it.
And there's another section of 194, which is a 12-week class. Now, that class is going to be a little bit faster than this class. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, man, but now, let's look at this right quick. I know our time is, I got about a minute, if that. And the chapter 7 deal with arrays. And I'm gonna kind of briefly start going through it. As you know, we've dealt with single variables, okay? Int X, int Y, whatever. And so that variable X or Y could only hold what? One value. Now we're gonna deal with arrays. An array is a variable that can hold a series or a collection of values of the same data type, all right? So in your array, what's the size of an array? You as a programmer can determine the size of an array. How many different values or elements I can have in an array? It's up to you. Look at this example here. This is an example of how you would declare an array in a program. Int days and square brackets 6. So what? I have a variable called days of what data type? Int, that can hold what? 6 integer values. Okay? So now rather than just saying int days by itself, and days can only hold one value, now int days square bracket 6, now I can hold 6, days can hold 6 different values. All right? Now, you say, okay, well, days can hold 6, but can you do more? Look, float temperature 100. Array of 100 float values, and the variable is temperature. Char name 41. All right, name can hold what? 41 characters. Long, which is int, units 50. All right, so you have a variable called units that can hold 50 values of long data type. All right, long integer. Double sizes 1200. So this array has 1200 double values stored into a variable called size. All right, so that's the general idea of arrays. Now, the thing with arrays, like I said, you can do any data type that you want. You know, you can have an array. Arrays are stored in consecutive memory locations. All right, you might say, well, why is that? What's the purpose? Whatever. What happens is arrays are stored in consecutive memory locations, and what it does is it allows you to manipulate it by adding to or subtracting from those array positions. Now, it also helps when you're dealing with pointers, all right? Pointers allow, well, how would I say it? An array is a pointer. And you can manipulate pointers in the same fashion as you do arrays. And we're going to get to that pointer chapter in chapter 9, I think. But if you look at this, short, it means what? This is the data type, short int, hour 6. So short has 2 bytes. So if each element in a short variable holds 2 bytes. If I have 6 values in hours, what's going to be the size of hours in bytes? It'd be 12, right? 2 times 6, which gives you 12. So if you look here, right. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So what happens is this becomes important when you start writing code. And depending on the limitations on your resources, you're going to have to decide the data type that you're going to be using and maybe the array size. Because what? I can declare array to be of 10,000, but if I'm not using all 10,000 elements, I'm using just 100. Why declare it to have 10,000 elements? You see what I'm saying? So you're going to have to, as a programmer, should be able to kind of reduce wasted storage allocation and variable declaration. All right, but now we write our code. We don't have limitations because we're not writing large programs and whatnot. So we do what? Int. We use double, right? But sometimes we don't even go beyond those values range, right? So what happens when you do short int 6? Short hour 6, it starts at whatever address it starts. What's the starting address? You never know. It actually randomly chooses that at starting address, but from that starting address and 6 addresses or 6 bytes, not 6, 12 bytes beyond, you're gonna have what? Allocation, a storage allocation for hours, all right? Now you say, well, how the computer know how to pull the data for hours? It pulls it by knowing the what? The byte size. Short is what? 2 bytes. So if it knows the starting point, and I said I wanted the not the first element, which is 0, I wanted the second element, sub 1, then it knows from the starting point, shift over 2 bytes, and now I'm at that position, and I can access the memory at that address. Okay, so that's how that works. All right. So now let's look at what happens in a program. So if I did something like this, I have short hours 6, so 6 elements. All right. I've created the array, but there's no values initialized or given to those locations. Then I can do something like this. I could assign individual values to these individual locations. Hours sub 0 equals 20. So what it's going to say? At the 0 position of hours, store 20. All right. Look at this. Hours sub 3 is equal to 30. So it says not sub 0, not sub 1, not sub 2, but sub 3, assign 30. All right. So that's how you can assign values to your array. You also can initialize your array also. All right. So what I'll do, let's see. Let's look at this program and then we'll stop and we'll start back on the next. But man, I'm gonna have to die. You got to look at the chapter though. Man. So let's look at this program. Looking at this program, this is pretty much the dinosaur way of using or manipulating arrays. In this program, we have a variable called employee num, or num employees, which is 6. All right. So then we have hours to be an array of what size? Of 6. You see, num employees equals 6. So we have int hours and then the square brackets, num hours. So what? 6 would be here. So this is an array of 6 elements. Now, if we said short hours sub 6 was 12, int hours sub 6 is what? What would be the byte size needed to store values in that
12 that we said.
How many?
For 6, for a total of 6.
Yeah, for int.
12.
For int.
That would be 6, wouldn't it?
For int.
200, huh?
For int. What's the byte size for int?
Let's say
4. Yeah.
4. So 4 times 6 is
4 times 6,
4.
24.
24. So with int, see, remember hours was short. It only needed 12 bytes, right? Allocated for memory. But when we do int hours and a 6, and now we need what? 12 bytes. So we just doubled the amount of size we needed to store what? 6 elements. Everybody understand what I'm saying? You won't really need to, how would I say? You won't really need to worry about it now because our program be writing it. But when you start trying to write code to be efficient, that's when it's going to become important to understand, well, why I'm using int when I can use short because my values are not that great and I can still accomplish what I need to accomplish and use what? Less resources, right? All right. So if we look at this is just a comment here, but look, see how enter hours worked by, and then it showed what? Employee number, all right? So now, which is 6 employees, right? By 6 employees. So what happened, what they did was CN hours sub 0, right? You typed it in. CN hours sub 1, CN hours sub 2. So if I had 1,000 elements and I did 1,000 CNs, that would be very, very what? Tedious, right? Correct?
Yeah.
Then if I needed to output them, see out hours of 0, see out hours of 1, see out hours of 2, hours of 5. Notice it went from 0 to 5, 0 to 5. Because 0 to 5 is what? 6.
6, right?
Right. The count is 6. So if I had 1,000, that would be very tedious to output. So what they do, we use a for loop where we can manipulate what? A counter or some variable. Int count is equal to 0 because we want to start at the first element. Count less than what? Array size. The array size up here was what? 6, right? Because we want to go from 0 to 5. But this is just this one here went from 0 to 0 less than 5. No, yeah, 0 less than 5. But if we went from here 0 less than 6, it would print out all those elements and how many statements I would use. Pretty much, well, I'd have just a C out right here, and it would be just 2 what? C++ statements. But if we look at what's going on here, they did const int array size 5, int numbers array size, so numbers has 5 elements. And what did they do? For count is equal to 0, all right, count less than array size, which is 5, count plus plus. So I'm starting at 0. Num sub 0 is equal to what? 99, right? So then it went back, increment count is 1. Is 1 less than 5? Yes. Count of 1 is equal to what? 99. So it put 99. So came back here, increment count is 2, all right? Is 2 less than 5? Yes, all right? Num sub 2 is equal to 99. Printed it out. Went back, 2 plus 1, 3. Is 3 less than 5? Yes. Num sub 3 equals 99. So it put 99. Then increment 3 plus 1 is 4. All right. Num sub 4 equal 99. So what I'm doing, I'm giving the same value to each one of these elements. But then when it got to 5, 4 plus 1 is 5. Is 5 less than 5? No, 5 is equal to 5. So it kicks out. So that's basically what that program does. So class, what I want you to do is read through the chapter, but I do want you to do these 2 assignments, all right? And I think I have them listed in here. So these are, and like I said, I got them here as bonus assignments. These are, I think these are the same assignments. I'm about to download it. Let me go to, okay. Let me open it. Oh no, that's a different one. I tell you what, don't worry about the ones in the chapter. Do these. Do the ones in Canvas, all right? They're smaller, but you can do the others to understand, all right? This say write a program that will declare and initialize 2 arrays, all right? Then they say a function. How many people, oh, man, it's a lot for, I tell you. How many people need to learn how to use functions?
Me?
I just gotta brush up on it, but I still have my assignment saved from last semester.
Right.
Yeah, same for me. I still remember some of it. I just got fresh up on them.
Yeah.
This one's gonna I see I'm struggling a little bit with the students as well. But it's just gonna take, like, the first one is just gonna be a rough one, I feel like.
Right.
And once I get the first one done, I'll be moving, and I feel like I'll be able to assist others as well to get on the same page as well.
Right, because see what this.
Please assist me, because I'm gonna need it.
I will help you. Please don't hurt your brain. I'm gonna help us get through this. We're all in this together for sure.
Ooh,
all right, what I'm gonna do? What I'll do?
This is total gibberish for me right now.
I'm gonna do this one, man. We could do this one right quick. I got a class at 12. Let's do this one. Let's write this one. So what I'll do, I don't have visual on this computer, but let's do this one. But you'd have to do yours in visual. Where? Yeah, where did I put it? What is that program? No, this is not that program.
Is that what you want us to move over to instead of online GDB? You want us to start using visual?
Right. Yeah, right. I want you to use it because
visual.
Wait, I did it. You want to see it?
How you wrote it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Pull it up. Who is this, Mr. Who?
Nihad.
All right. Let me try to share your screen.
So if I already have visual downloaded on my computer, I
Are you straight? You straight?
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So let me navigate through this Zoom to see how I can get Mr. Who is that? Who is that saying they have it?
Nihad.
Nihad.
Yeah. Okay. Let me
You can't
see.
stop sharing screen yours though. That's the thing.
Right. Well.
I can't.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think it's something I got to do.
Yeah.
Maybe you could email him to him real quick, Mr. Nihad.
Huh? Wait, I'm trying
You
to.
got the sub share screen option for the green bar. That's what you have to do, or somewhere on the tab.
All right, I have to share screen. Let's say you're sharing your screen, but I need to know how to share his. You know what I'm saying? How to allow him to share his.
You just have to stop yours.
Enable participant screen sharing.
All right, so I can stop mine.
Now he can share his.
You think so? Try to share it. I think I'm the host. I need to give him some kind of
Yeah, you gotta give me permission.
Right. See, that's
Press
what I'm
Alt
thinking.
S.
Huh?
Press Alt S.
Alt S, and let me click out of there.
Alt S is for him to share.
Nihad
His
has to
screen,
do it.
for, yeah.
Not the permissions
Right,
aren't
okay.
there.
But
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And where is it at there? Where is it after that?
You disabled it. That's the thing. You just disabled it.
Oh, I did?
It's a protective measure. Yeah.
So click on this again.
Everybody popping up.
It might be when you I'm not sure how to work Zoom, but it might have been when you created the actual Zoom class.
Right, but it should be an option. When I go to participants, it should let me go here. Let me see. Here we go. Allow participant, let's see. Allow participant to rename, mute, no. Enable, no. Yeah, see, I don't see that. Yeah, it should have been there, I think, but
It's probably when during the options you creating the room.
right, but it still should give me an option to change it.
I got you. Let me look at it real quick.
Can he just take a picture of it from his phone and put it up to the camera?
But he doesn't have a camera.
But it won't be big enough. It's just gonna be that you know.
Maybe just
You want me to send it to you on Canvas?
Yeah, I tell you what, you can email it, yeah. Cause I probably could have been and wrote it. Let's see. Share. All right. And cause normally do something like it's
Any way he could post the file in chat?
I can't hear you.
Is there any way he could post the file in chat?
Oh yeah, he could do that too. Yep.
It'd be easier just to email at this point.
Yeah.
All right. So it's something like this. So I have the two arrays. Let's see what it's set to do. I forgot what the program said to do.
It says to Declare and initialize 2 arrays.
2 arrays, okay. What else?
10 elements the first and 5 elements the second.
All right. So look at this. All right. And then what it say to print out?
Using a function, output the contents of the first array and the second.
All right. All right. So looking at this. So here we have an array. Int. Now int, what the data type is int. How many bytes?
4.
4 bytes. If the size is 10, how many byte sizes need to be allocated?
20.
40.
40.
40, excuse me. Because we're ant.
Right. And then the second one, int 5. So that's 4 times 5, which is what?
20.
20. All right, I'm forgetting my semicolon. All right, so now here, I have these 2. Now, like I said, you can write code with prototypes, or you can write code where you put in the array, not the array, the function's definition at the top. I normally just do the prototype. So what I could do void.
First, you got that info.h still on there, so it's gonna.
Oh yeah. That will give it. Right. So I could do void, and if I'm passing the values or passing the array, I could say void, and I'll say PRT array, and I'll do this. Well, not that. This. And I'll do something like this. Is it like this? This array. And it's int. All right. So that's saying I'm passing on the int array, right? Now, should I need 2 functions because I'm passing 2 different arrays?
No.
Not necessarily.
Because what? The format is basically the same, correct? Now, if I was doing if my argument list was different, then I would need 2 different functions. All right, but the argument list is the same. One time I'm passing 1 array, and then I'm passing another one. They just of what? Different sizes. Now, what I could have done was this: int m1 is equal to 10. All right, or const. Because array size declarator has to be 10. I mean, it has to be constant. And see, I could do what? M1 here and M2. So what I did here was just what? Just made the what? This array size 10 and this array size 5. All right. Now, I need to call what? PRT array. All right. But I want to pass what? I want to pass array.
Let's do array 2.
Array 1, right. Array 1, comma, and what? M1. And M1, right. So now, but then I need to call the what? PRT array. And then what? Array 2.
Array 2.
Right, and M2. Right? So what? Each time I pass it, the first time I'm going to pass this array with this value, which is 10. Then I'm going to pass this array with this value, which is 5. Okay? So now I need to, let me take this off. Oh, no, that's right. I need to take this off. All right. So now what I need to do is my function definition. So now I could just say void PRT array. All right. But then I can give it another array name. I'll just say AR. All right. Well, I'll do int AR. I could have used the same name. What happened? I used the wrong key. AR. What's wrong? Oh, you don't put it. All right, AR and I could just say X. Lowercase. It don't matter if it's uppercase or lowercase. And then here would be my function. So now in this function, I can use a what to print it? For int x. Now I won't use x. I'll use y. Y equals 0. Y less than x, right? Y plus plus. Everybody see what I did and why I did that. I want to start at 0 and whatever being passed, if M1 is passed to X is what? 10. So I'm going to do Y, which is 0 less than 10. In this one, when I pass array 2 and M2, it's going to pass 5 into X. So I'm going to go from 0 to Y less than what? 5, correct? And then I'm going to increment that. And then I want to do what? See out. And I'll just say, I'll just print it out straight from the top. I'll do this. I'll just do it that way. And I'll print what? I cannot just print out Y. I'd have to do what? AR sub Y. Anytime you have an array, you can't just print the array unless it's string. We'll get to that later on. All right. So that's going to print out that and then stop and then go back. All right. So what I'll do here, I'll just do just double space after, it's gonna go back and come back. So what happens here, we declared our arrays, initialized them, gave them values. We don't have to input the value. We call this call this function. It goes here, execute this 10 times, then 2 new lines, go back. It calls this array, a function. It performs this 5 times, and then it's finished. All right?
Line 20, you have a period instead of a comma.
Where we're at line 20. Oh, yes, you're right. Yep, that would, because that's like 8 point whatever, and that would be incorrect array size, element be blank, and everything. So let's run this and see what happens. Oh, got an error. What it says, M1, 2-minute argument. Oh, why now? Why would it say 2-minute arguments? This is what I'm passing. This is what my function look like. But look at my prototype.
Oh.
What I should do?
Include the int ARX.
I just need to do int here. Because I'm saying I'm passing an integer what? Array, which is array 1 or array 2. And then I'm passing an integer, which is what? M1 or M2. You see how my array list, my argument list has to match?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Otherwise, that's why it gave me that error. The error what? 2-minute arguments in that function. Because the prototype says I was only passing what? An array, not another integer. Okay? Everybody get that? And huh? Yeah, I got it right here. See?
Like, why do you have?
I gotta put it in. Yeah, you're right. I gotta declare it in here. Correct. Right. So now you're right about that. And that's gonna be some of the errors that you're gonna get in a lot of your program. Because when you start writing your code and you pass in 5 and 6 different arguments, or which could be 3 arrays and 2 numbers, and then some are different, the data type, your argument list might, in one place might be too short, your variable, your data type might be the wrong data type, you might have your arguments in the wrong order. So those type things happen, and you're gonna have to try to fix those things. Look through that program and fix it. All right. So now let's look at it. Look at our program. Now I could make it print out the way it was the other way. So look, the first time through it printed out what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Double, and then it did the double. It did this really triple space. Did this inline at the end. Then it did 2 more inlines. Then it went back. Excuse me. What's that? Somebody said.
Somebody misspoke. I think you're good to go.
Oh, I misspelled something?
No, somebody misspoke. They just made a noise. You just keep going.
Oh, okay, all right. Now, if I wanted it to print it out going across, I can remove this, all right? And sometimes students have issues with this, all right, so I'll do that. I don't do the inline, do semicolon. Now, so what that does is gonna print the first number of the array and put a space. Second number, space. Third number, space. When it get to the end, they're gonna double space and start with the next one. So you see, it all depends on how your output should look, right? It works, but is it working in the fashion that it should? Is the program written based on the specs that the owner wants, and also is the output being outputted in the fashion that they want it to look? So those are some of the things that you're gonna kind of get used to, because I want the output in a certain way, I want it inputted a certain way and whatnot. All right. And then I want it manipulated a certain way sometimes in the program. Sometimes I'll tell you it doesn't matter, but sometimes I'll tell you I want it done in a specific way. All right. So that's this program, right? And everybody saw what happens, but you got to understand what functions. You got to know that what this is the prototype, this is the calls, and this is the actual definition. But you got to understand the argument list. All right, I'm passing these. I'm not just declaring all this to be global, like the array, declaring the array to be global, and I don't have to pass it. All right, everybody got that? Now look at this. When I passed array 1, I actually passed the what? The entire array at one time. Right? Everybody see that? I didn't have to pass each individual element. Okay. Now that can be done, whereas I can take each element, store it in a value, and then pass the value. All right. Where I could do something like, well, I won't do. Well, I can't do it here, but I could change this to just int. And what I can do, I could do something, and well, I'd have to do a loop, but I could do array 3.
Mr. Sylvester?
Right.
I just want to let you know it's almost 12.
Right, all right, yeah. Man, I tell you, it's hard on me. Now, look at this. And see, I wouldn't be able, I can do that, but then here I have to tell it int AR, and I wouldn't want to do a loop. So this wouldn't work, but I'll take this out and I'll comment this. So now what happened is I'm passing a what? I'm passing array sub what? 3, which is a what? An integer. And this says it's a what? Integer. So you see how it can change, right? And I could have put this in a for loop where I could have keep passing array sub x each time. You understand? I could have did something like this, like for. And then M1 and I plus. All right, so what happens here, I could keep calling this, and then I could pass array sub I. Now, I really don't need to pass this if I'm not doing a loop. I could take that out if I'm not really passing a loop. I'll pass the loop counter, all right, and do something like this. And then all I need to do is do what? See out. Well, I could do it here. No, I'll do it here. Yeah, I'll do it here. See out A. All right. So what happens here? It's going to take whatever array of I is, pass it to A, and print out A. All right? And it's going to do that how many times? 10 times. It's not going to worry about the second array. It's only doing the first array because that's all I have that is doing here. So now when I run it, it should be, where is that here? See what happened? I pass what? A value rather than the entire what? Array. So everybody see what is happening, right? See what's what. So what I want you to do, try to do those two programs. Those two programs don't have documentation associated with it. All right, you don't have to do documentation, but it does tell you to what? Make sure you do your header file, right? So make sure you do the header file. And this is just bonus program, try to get you back in the swing of things. All right, so get those two programs done. Now, let's see what the other program is. The other one, the other bonus program. All right. This one, I still got it down. All right. So this one, vectors. Oh. Y'all didn't use vectors yet either. Darn. Man, see this class, like I say, man.
Need to be in class.
Oh, it does. Because see, if you scroll down here we get to, and toward the end of the chapter, that's two-dimensional arrays. Here we get to vectors. Man, and this is basically, you have to use a header file for vectors. If I wanted to declare a vector int numbers. Now, I've just declared a vector called numbers of integer data type. A vector is kind of different from arrays, but they kind of work the same once you fix them. Now, look at this. This example, or this statement and this statement are different. This one creates a vector that has nothing in it, no elements. This one creates a vector with how many elements? 10. Now, the difference with vectors and arrays, a vector you can add to or take away from with push back and pop back. Those are the commands, all right? Vectors, you can do some things where you can copy one into the other. All those things. Those are some of the things you can do with vectors. If you look at this program here, okay, here where we have our function on our header file, okay? Here we have our declaration. Well, here we got one here. Vector, here. Vector int, so we got an int vector called hours, and how big is it? 5. See, employee number, so it's a size 5. Here we got a vector of double, pay rate, all right? Same thing, size 5. So see, but the good thing about vectors is, once you create a vector and have a size, you can manipulate it like you manipulate an array using subscripts. Everybody understand it? Because if you look here, our sub index, and just like saying what we had, array 1 sub x or sub I, same thing, right? So once you create a vector, then you can just use it like an array. But there's one catch to vectors. I could create a vector and give it 10 elements. And if I add to it, if I try to add a number to it, if I do a pushback to add something to it, it's going to add an 11th element. It won't add it to the very beginning. Okay? Some students get caught up with that. If I do a blank, empty vector, and I do pushback, then I'm starting at 1, the first element, then the second, third, fourth. But if I do something like this, vector int numbers and 10, that means I got 10 blank elements already. And if I try to add during a pushback, it's going to add an 11th one. If I do a pushback again to add something, it's going to add a 12th one. So, like I say, once you create it like this, then you go automatically start using your subscript to add to it and manipulate it. If you create it like this, you're gonna have to use pushback to add each element into the vector, right? And so if you look here, it created it with a size, and then from here, it allowed you to input values into that vector, all right? Where is that? Here. Let's see. Where's that? Hours, seeing the hours. Oh, that's the pushback. Well, this one didn't have one. Where is it? See? Vector in hours. It didn't have a size. So that's why they did a pushback here, so that they can add the hours starting at the 0 going down. All right. And where's the other one? This is the other one. They did what? They gave a size, vector hours, and they gave a size of 5. So what they did, they just used the subscript. See, look, hour sub index, seeing hour sub 0. So you're starting at 0 and moving on. All right? So work on those 2 programs and everything. And like I say, email me or whatever. And like I say, try to get them done. All right? And then we'll kind of go back through the chapter over some stuff that I want you to go over. But you're going to have to read through these chapters because you need to get that information, man. This is going to be a tough semester. Whoa.
So you can't fail us.
Can I fail you? Yes, I can.
It's really going to take a team effort to get
that's
everybody
right.
on board.
That's what I'm saying, man.
And we will get it working. Just have a little faith, team. We're going to get this working.
Yeah. All right, then. And like y'all can work through people. You can know everybody, get everybody information or whatever, and collaborate or whatever and stuff like that too in Canvas. Yeah. All right, so let me get ready for my next class because they're gonna be looking for me too.
No, they won't.
All right, yeah, they will. That's 193. So yeah, so y'all work on that, and I'll try to get that role situated, and I'll add everybody for today who did the registration, and like I said, I'll get with you. Who had sent the program? Was that the program was similar to what you had done? Whoever had sent the program?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Much easier though.
Huh?
It's much easier.
Oh, yours was easier?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. You did functions?
Yeah.
Yeah, because there wasn't that many. There wasn't too many ways you could do it. Yeah. All right, but y'all going on do my work.
Yes, sir. Have a good day.
All right. Have a good one.
Yes,
Bye.
All right.